The engine is now rebuilt. So crankcase back together. I'll put a link to some of the videos I used, hopefully below, which will show you the instructions I use. As I mentioned, I'm not really interested in doing a video on how to put things together, etc., unless I come up with something new. And frankly, I haven't. The videos that are already out there on YouTube are really good. What I have done though is spent a lot of time cleaning this crankcase up. It's still a little bit dirty, you can see here, but it's a lot better than it was. So it's all back together. Breather thingamajig back in. All the camshaft bearings look good. Crankshaft turns nicely. Back on its stand, so the rebuild can continue. So it's all very exciting. Okay. So surely and slowly the engine is starting to come back together again now. Got the timing cover all set up, give it a bit of a clean, and replaced this badge here because the other one was all faded and nasty. Now got the barrel here painted like a sort of black, matte black, but it's not quite matte. And that is going to be, the next bit is going to be to gap the piston rings and to actually get the barrel on, which is exciting, actually, quite exciting. So it's starting to come together. It's slow because I'm not getting as much time as I'd like to, but here we go. It's all going to be a bit bitty, this part of the video, because I did not set out to do an instructional video, which is so it's why I'm going to do a little bit behind the scenes and then show you what I've done. Last time I showed you, we'd got the crankcase all cleaned, assembled, base gasket on. I think I might put some goo on that because I don't want it leaking. And I've now got the pistons. So the pistons I got from this company, LF Harris, and I bought from actually a company I'm really impressed with, which is this Fect.com. What I did find out though was that despite the fact that it said on the barrels that it was plus 20 thou oversize, it actually wasn't. It actually was standard size, and as I mentioned, the bores are in pretty good shape. You can see them there. They're really not bad. There's no real discernible wear there at all. When I got the vernier caliper out and measured it, it wasn't so this was the size, both of them the same, and looking at various forums. Should I move that one? Yeah, I move that one. They 2.79, that one, so the one was 2.78. They all say that actually this is the right size, you know, don't rebore it. So I'm not going to. I think I am gonna just roughen it up a little bit with some emery, very carefully, to make sure you get those cross hatches. But then I'm going to reuse it. So I decided to use standard barrels, sorry, standard pistons rather. So these are standards, as it says there, which were a little bit more difficult to get hold of than the oversized ones. I guess most people rebore theirs. I don't really want to. Why would I? It's not going to get much mileage. It's really you know, going to be something to behold and look beautiful. So I decided not to rebore it. and I'm rebuilding it with new pistons. Now, one of the things I did do is I actually measured the piston ring end gap in the barrels and found them all to be on the large side. So they were all, well, according to everything I've read, you should be looking at around about 15 thou clearance, and I actually measured 24 thou clearance on all three rings. And again, there seems to be a split sort of decision here on whether that is acceptable or not. We know it's not the bore, because as I've said, the bore is fine, and I've just shown you the bore is fine. So it's the rings themselves. And but in the end, again, I've decided that this is I'm going to run with the 28s. There seems to be enough, so 24s. There seems to be enough data out there to suggest that 24 is okay. So it's a little bit of a worry to me, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. And I guess, because it's the end of the world, I can always do a top-end rebuild if it's rubbish. And in fact, I might, depending on how we use this, I might end up taking it out to a 750. But we'll see. Anyway, so this is where I am at the moment. I will probably do another video when I have the pistons in. So, until then. So, as I said, pistons now on, and they're symmetrical pistons. There is no front written on them, there is no back written on them. As far as I can see, they are 100% symmetrical. Next job, I'm going to be spacing the rings out so that they are a third apart, so there's no ring gaps are lined up. And then we will put the barrel on. And I've now worked out which is the front of the barrel. This is a 9 stud cylinder head on this particular engine, which means it's got a stud, an extra stud here. And obviously this is the exhaust, so therefore the stud goes to the front. So therefore on the barrel this is the 9th stud, so therefore that is the front. Now the barrel itself is just about symmetrical, but it's got this slight little sort of slightly different, let me see that, slightly different shaped bottom there. You can see that's all nicely tapered, and there's like a little dog leg in it. That's at the front from all accounts. I don't know why, I don't know what it's for, but it's obviously there for a reason. So I'm going to give the barrels a bit of a emery, a really good clean again, and then I'm going to try assembling the pistons. And now with the barrel on. So the barrel is on now, tappet blocks in place, base nuts, replacement base nuts tightened up, looking quite nice. Now actually the barrel was really difficult to fit. Getting the pistons started in the liner wasn't a problem, but it was tight. The barrel was tight going onto the studs, which well, gave me a little bit of a concern. But anyway, it's in now. It's looking pretty good. As you can see, I'm quite happy with it. So there's a sort of longer term picture of it. Next job is going to be to strip and clean and rebuild the cylinder head. Then I can get the cylinder head on, and then we can think about fitting the engine into the frame. So here it is, looking a lot better than it did.